Hey everyone, today I wanted to talk a little bit about life and living and just living with family, I guess. Recently, my father did something that I would consider really unforgivable. Quite literally, like one of the worst things you could possibly do. Forgive me if I don't go into details, I don't really want to talk about it so much. And that's why I'm making this video. And for a while, I was very angry. I was pissed off. Just a couple days before it happened, he tried to give me advice on my life. And I just keep thinking back on that, and just the audacity of someone to try and give advice. Someone like that, to try and give advice on life. I would be too embarrassed. I would be too embarrassed to give advice for anything after having done something like that. But something changed. I was helping him with something, and for a moment, I think I saw a little piece of his true self. For a moment, I think I saw a part of him that he didn't really want me to see. But things clicked. Various stray comments he's made in the past versus his current just kind of pathetic state. It all just kind of clicked. That really, he's just a tired old man. He's just a tired old man that's still living for some reason. Still alive for some reason. Kind of going through the motions. Supporting me because I still need support. I'm still the kid of the family, technically, and I need support in my education. Supporting my mother because she doesn't really have much going on. Taking care of the family, keeping the house up. And he's tired. He's just this tired old man that has all these responsibilities. And he's just trudging along. It was weird because for some reason, even though I was so angry, I think I saw a little bit of the true him in there. In his eyes, I think I saw a little bit of the true him, or who he really is, the part of him he doesn't want other people to see. That, in some sense, he's a tired old man. Waiting, for lack of a better word, for lack of a better phrase, he's a tired old man, waiting for death, trudging along, living, waiting till the day he doesn't have to do it anymore. I don't know why I felt pity for him, and probably he might not even deserve it, but I did. I felt pity, and I felt pity for that side of him, that tired, done with life side of him. Of course, that's only one small part of him. That doesn't encompass his whole being, but I felt pity for that. I think we all kind of have to ask this question of ourselves one time or another. Why am I alive? Why am I here on this earth? Why am I still alive? What does it mean to be alive for me? Why am I alive, and why do I exist when there is a world out there where I just don't exist? And what would be different in that world? And I think a lot of people have these different interpretations of why I'm alive. Different types of answers for it. There's the literal answer, which is, my mom and my dad liked each other, so they got together. And they had me. That's the literal answer why you're alive. But sometimes I think we use that as a crutch. There's the religious answer. God brought me onto this earth, and God sent my soul down from the heavens on this earth for me to be tested. But it also depends on what religion. Your answer might vary depending on what religion you practice. And then there's the philosophical answer. Like it's kind of tied to religious answer, but this is where theories such as like utilitarianism where, well, utilitarianism is all about like whatever brings the most benefit to the most amount of people. But like the idea that you're here to make other people's lives better with your presence. You're here to make other people's lives easier. You're here to help people. That's a philosophical answer for why you're here on this earth. To leave the world a better place than the world that you were born into. There's all these different reasons that we have for why I'm alive. And I don't think the literal reason, while it is true, it's not enough. That you need a more holistic vision of why you're alive and why you're on this earth. What your mission is on this earth. You can definitely live a nice life with just sticking to the literal reason. My mom and my dad had a child, and now I'm alive. I have responsibilities now. I have to go after them. But sometimes that literal reason is not enough. You need some sort of philosophical reason for why you're alive. Otherwise, you just kind of end up trudging along because you have to. You know, I exist. I can't just not exist. That's just how it is. I exist now, and if I were to just disappear somehow, there would be consequences for the people around me. So I need to continue existing. I think a lot of people live with that philosophy in their head. But just having some kind of philosophical reason, even if it is something stupid, like I'm just here to bring joy to the world, make people laugh, or I'm just here to help people, make other people's lives easier. Even if it is a stupid reason, it's still a reason. It still works. When you live without a reason, sometimes you end up in this place where you don't really... Every little thing annoys you. Every little thing that happens annoys you because you're so pissed off at the world. You don't even really want to be here in the first place, so you get pissed off at everyone and anything that makes your life harder than it has to be. In your perception that it has to be. But it's not a great way to live, is it? Looking at life as more as an opportunity rather than a challenge or something you have to do is maybe the secret to a happier life. At least I think it is. I realize that my dad is not a good person. That's because no one really is. We all kind of suck. Human beings, look at me going into philosophy anyway, human beings are just kind of suck. Everyone has some skeletons in their closet, some evil thoughts, something they'd rather other people didn't know about them. And that's just how it is. It's true that maybe my dad shouldn't be giving me advice on life. And if I followed that advice, maybe I would end up in a similar position as him. But in the sense that he's the best I have. He's the person that's closest to me that I can get advice from, personalized advice, because he knows me the best. He's my dad. He knows me very well. And although he's not a perfect person by any means, there are some things that he was able to do in his life that were kind of admirable. Admirable? I can't believe I don't know how to say that word anymore. Admirable, that's how you say it. Okay. Even though he's not a great person, he still has some things that he did in his life that were quite admirable. I still mess it up. And that's okay. People don't have to be perfect, because in my opinion, it's kind of impossible to be perfect. You live this life where you're completely ruled by your own emotions. The more I think about it, we're more ruled by emotions than we are logic. Almost everything we do is emotion-based. And so we're all kind of flawed. They say never meet your heroes because your heroes never live up to the stardom that you set them in your head. And it is true. It really is true. Everyone has a flaw. Nobody is perfect. And maybe even if my dad doesn't deserve it, I do pity him and I do forgive him. I was talking about emotions earlier, and I think that human beings weren't really designed to be objective. Be objective and be completely logical. If I was being completely logical, I would honestly feel like I would never forgive my dad for what he did. I would never feel pity for him. But that's one of my emotional flaws, I guess. That I feel I forgive people who don't really deserve it. I'm able to forgive people who don't really deserve it. And that's part of being a human being. I heard this quote that was really, really interesting. Expecting perfection is a quick way to be completely lonely. Or it was something like, only accepting perfection is a quick way to be completely lonely. And I think there's some truth to that. And that being human is having to accept that not everyone around you is like perfect. But also finding that middle ground of just accepting something but not accepting other things. And just being able to tolerate some things but not everything. And that kind of ties into the person that you decide to spend the rest of your life with, your soulmate. You have to realize that they're not perfect either, and that they have their own issues that they bring to the table into your relationship. Also realizing that you have your own issues that you bring to the relationship. And trying to find some sort of acceptable ground that, okay, they have these flaws, but it's okay. I'm okay with this. I can live with this. And finding that middle ground is definitely not easy. Family is harder because you can't really choose your family. Your family's just kind of around you from the moment you were born. And sometimes you just have to forgive your family for the things they've done. But finding that middle ground between being forgiving and also not tolerating some things is definitely difficult. But that's the kind of world we live in.